I'm through. 10 minutes. Gokul, if you have questions, I'm there. If you're not there, I'll go and sit. Oh, you're there. You can remove your mask. No worries. I have got 2 COVIDs. My current what they call it, immunity. The is 5,500. In case you have doubts.
Thank you so much, sir. We have Mr. Gokul Krishnamoorthy joining us on the dais. He is Consulting Editor, MediaNewsForYou.com, to interview Dr. Bhaskar Das.
No problem. Leaning is fine. You want me to lean? It's perfectly all right. Media is also broken, standing on 3 legs. If you go near United Nations, you'll say big chair, 60 feet, with 3 legs, standing, against land mining. I said, lovely. Metaphorically, it must not be seen as a broken media scene.
Is this mic open? Yeah, it's working. Yeah. So thank you, Bhaskar. It was not my brief to ask him to speak for 10 minutes. I think he's been. It's either the lunch
but
or.
You have sent 10 questions. 10 questions are actually as good as 3-4 hours class.
Yeah, and I have lost a sheet of paper, so you can recall the questions and give the answers. And more importantly, I think we will spend more time
in bantering
and responding to questions from the audience, because I'm sure there are. See, some people ask me why Dr. Bhaskar Das on the future of entertainment. Yes,
when he's passed.
Because he's someone who we have known as a custodian of news brands, as the revenue head of news brands, creating premium properties, and taking them to advertisers, realizing value, and taking them, in a larger than life way to the end consumers, whether it is for Times of India, whether it is for other media brands. Now, why entertainment? Because the perspectives that one has heard from him over the years on things are quite spot on, and sometimes there are those nuggets which are eye openers, like some of the things that you mentioned now, Bhaskar. Let me start first with something which made news very recently. Let's start with the mainstream before going to artificial intelligence and metaverse and everything. By the way, metaverse, we've got cocktails in the evening. Now imagine a future in metaverse where your virtual avatar will take your friend's virtual avatar for a drink and not you in person. How much fun would that be, right? So there are certain things which the in-person experience cannot be replicated, and then there is metaverse. We'll come to metaverse later. The IPL, Dr. Das. The IPL media rights have
so
been
you are
sold.
not following the sequence.
You want me to follow the sequence? We shall follow the sequence. We are in Bangalore.
No, IPL, I can respond, no problem.
Okay. So IPL, and we've seen the per match cost for television rights go up to 54 odd crores, and for digital rights for the first time cross 50 crores. Now IPL is entertainment. It is the largest entertainment property that India has, if I'm not mistaken. And is this viable? Is this feasible? There are a lot of people here from television. There are a lot of people here from digital. A lot of people here from brands. So how is this connect going to happen? In the morning we were discussing news brands and whether people will pay for news content. Now people will pay for entertainment, but how much will they pay by way of subscription, and how much will advertisers be willing to pay? Is this model sustainable?
In the context of only IPL.
IPL.
See, I'm a cricket fan, so my answer will be biased. Some Formula 1 guy will not like it, but fact remains that 2 more franchises have joined, and I've seen all the matches. 2.5 hours, no cost. You have fun, entertainment. Even tests have also become like T50, at least one day international. So results are coming. I know it looks absolutely irrational exuberance when it comes to the kind of prices. Mukesh Bhai, I trust. He intentionally did not go for the linear one. He has gone for the digital. It must be right. Because see what has happened to Jio. So Mukesh Bhai, there's nothing to worry. He will get it. And Hotstar will get affected, I have a feeling. Because their 60-70% of the traffic used to come from digital. To my mind, that's a damn smart move of not going to the linear. Linear will be tough. Tough for a simple reason. We think that 80% of India has a single television. But today's kids, including the drivers and others, everyone has a mobile and they see video. Technically, there are 500 million smartphones and otherwise unsmart phones also there. But people are watching it. There is a fan, and then there is a stadium is filled up. Rates are appearing to be too high. As a result, during IPL, always other genres of television suffer. Question is, why do they suffer? Because you are not playing the game in view of the changed circumstances. What you are creating in the content. Why you don't want to miss Korean episodes, in spite of the fact there is so many long Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. So I feel initially there will be a challenge, but knowing BCCI and knowing Indian audience, Aam Janta ka entertainment shows 2.5 hours unadulterated fun. So an advertising market, even if it's finite, is still growing. The affected parties during that period will always be other media. And I have a feeling it's possible to get it because they are continuously innovating to create sustained interest in cricket. Only one caveat I'll add. I'm not sure whether post-90 born is that crazy about cricket as much as soccer, as much as Formula 1, as much as for gaming. So if you look at the participation of the gaming companies that are there only at IPL, big time, they spend 600 crore in advertising their thing, their numbers. And that's big. So if you just look at this type of sponsors they have got, they're not the usual suspects. They're the new types of companies. So to my mind, with a combined revenue strategy, which is ticket sell, which is everything in their body is sold in the cricketers, and the traffic that they get generate, they'll make the money.
Lovely, thank
as
you.
they call it, risk hai to risk hai.
Risk hai to risk hai, and Bhaskar da trust.
Ishq hai to.
Ishq hai, sorry.
Ishq for IPL.
Yeah. And trust on Mukesh Bhai's business instincts.
Absolutely.
Blind trust. Okay, that's what a lot of shareholders are also doing. So, you have shares of Reliance Industries?
No, I don't have any share of anyone.
Good. So, coming to Bangalore, and we've seen Bangalore, Kannada, Telugu movies kind of rock the Indian market across the Hindi belt, whether it is in dubbed format, whether it is with subtitles, in theaters, on OTT, regional content, the rising heft of regional content. What does this mean for content creators, and is this a trend or is it a flash in the pan because of the scale and grandeur with which some of these movies were made and promoted?
No question of flash in the pan in the first place. If I can copy Allu Arjun in Pushpa, you know that? You can copy him. You can't copy. Anyone can copy Allu Arjun? No. It's so simple, yeah. Only thing I don't have beard. This one, which Jadeja did it, and then I loved his walking. Sometimes he's got deformity maybe, but Pushpa, not flower, fire. So, point is Salman Khan cannot do it. Salman Khan देखते हैं आते हैं थोड़ा ऐसे किया वैसे किया. So Bollywood stars are in deep trouble, and after you see RRR, when you see the dance of this one, how do you do it? Have you seen? They're so fit. Sorry, this is not part of the script, but
Okay, this is not, but this reminds me, Bhaskar, of time when you were dancing at Ad Asia in Delhi and shaking a leg with Shah Rukh Khan on
Goa
stage.
Fest also have danced.
Yeah.
People have questioned me, Are, how you dance at this age? Kya karu? My legs don't know my age. What can I do?
Good one. So this is the future of entertainment, right? So no, regional movies. You also spoke about.
I think it's seriously, it's tremendous future. See, the mistake that Netflix did because they thought India is only 5 metros. Amazon understood, invested, but if you look at it, Marathi films, Bengali film, there's something called Hoichoi. They're rocking. They've got 13 million followers. And Kannadiga, Telugu and everything, now they're doing also subtitling as well as dubbing. And if you look at some of the successes of RRR, or even Pushpa is going to come 2-3
KGF.
versions, KGF, they are just not anywhere. Bollywood only then took the jihadi of why Hindi films are not running in the South. Point is, please smell the coffee. You can't play the game. You are playing the same Purana hero ka style. Even OTT, if you see, story is the new hero. You look at any Bollywood film coming and getting bombed in OTT. But unknown films, unknown film directors are rocking. And niche ones, especially in Marathi, Bengali, Kannadiga, Telugu, everywhere, they are doing very well. The cost of production is also not so high. But imagine Allu Arjun takes 100 crore. No Bollywood star charges 100 crore. Now, I have a feeling regional content also are getting popular not only amongst Indian diaspora, but also among non-Indians. Is exactly, I'm not saying they're like Koreans, for instance. Korea is of a different ball game. Now, Korean discipline, if you look at it, started at 2012 when that Gangnam dance happened. Okay. None of you perhaps know, it all started with Manipur.
With Manipur, you said Manipur.
Manipur, Northeast. Manipur, there is a revolutionary organization, some revolutionary socialist party. They banned Bollywood films, so they have no entertainment. They started looking at worldwide where is the content. Korean content they found very helpful. If I tell you, today in Manipur, more people know Korean than Hindi. It's scary, because we did a research when I was in Z that we can start a Korean dubbed channel. Korean language learning. Now it has come to the metros also. Do you know in Pune there are Korean food shops, there are restaurants in Delhi, Korean shops, Korean food. What is the core point they are trying to say? In fact, any young kid, what is that? It's a new thing. So for me also is new. So I've written it so I don't forget. BTS. How many of you heard about BTS? It shows this is not the future of entertainment. I'm sorry for saying this. BTS is called Bangtan Sonyeodan. I Purple. You love yourself and you love the way you are. This creates new level of confidence. Sophia College is pretty decent college in Bombay. There are communities for Korean web series, Korean films, Korean pop music, Korean webtoons. Korea is taking over India apart from Samsung and others. Please understand. Now, what is the reason for it? They have decoded the universality of human emotions. Hamara, any serial, 54 episodes. They're ruthless about 16, period. Family drama, suspense, these, that, whatever. But same thing, Sacred Games, Patal Lok, some of the market they have worked. Manikarnika had worked extremely well in Japan because of their costume and all that. So different films are working in different markets. So understanding the market, differentiation, marketing, that's what makes the difference. So to my mind, regional content has tremendous future. Indian context, definitely, there's no doubt about it. Hindi has enough reason to be anxious.
How is this whole OTT wave, catalyzed of course by COVID, helped in regional content or content go across languages? Has that been a catalyst?
Definitely. COVID might have precipitated it, but is also precipitated by technology that is available. Today, you look at unknown artists, they don't get chance in Bollywood because of whatever K factor. But point is that they get a platform. Bandish Bandit, who will produce in Bollywood? It will be a bomb. I'm telling you, it will bomb big time. So segmented or narrowcasting in terms of interest level. Regional platforms is very good. OTT is facilitating that big time because people are tremendously getting content. Production houses are extremely busy. And today you look at Salman, Shahrukh, they might be producing, but Salman, Shahrukh, or Amir Khan, they're not coming in OTT. Amitabh Bachchan hasn't also come. So they're showing their films, but there is this film in the Inox kind of stuff. There is a film streaming. There is OTT streaming. OTT streamings are rocking, and they're experimenting also um, in terms of prohibited topics, for instance. And there is a niches that are there which are actually being tried. And this niche may not have volume, but depending on the business model, depending on the revenue monetization strategy, definitely OTT is facilitating or acting as a catalyst to encourage different kinds of content being dished out to the consumers.
Interesting. While that may be the case, and you spoke about niche OTT and people trying to find a market in the niche, there is even a dedicated OTT platform for the LGBTQ community related content. That said, you also mentioned in your talk that there are some 61 OTTs, and when you asked your students who watches Alt Balaji, and they might have said, they might not have revealed it because of embarrassment as well.
Yeah.
So, no offense, all kinds of content is welcome. But the point is, there is, like we spoke about news in the morning, there is a long tail. There are OTT platforms which, even if people download on their mobiles, it's possibly to watch one movie and or one piece of content. There was this movie by Buddhadev Dasgupta, the late director Buddhadev Dasgupta, which after a long time got released on one of the OTT platforms. I think it was Eros now. And I downloaded the app to watch one movie and then off because there is nothing else which is of course there was a Swara Bhaskar series as well, but that's a different story. So the point is, what is this long tail? What happens? Consolidation is the answer. There are some OTT players who tell us that off record, of course, that they're just waiting for a good bid and they will exit.
That's true for any industry, to my mind. That's what the whole concept of valuation. People, your RSVP also have done it. I'm talking about Ronnie Screwvala.
Right.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong in it. Anything is fair in business and love and war, perhaps, for Mr. Putin. But the important point here is that everyone is working for multiple business models. It can be free. They try to get now, like Netflix have introduced, if you see ads, then I'll charge less. YouTube is a classic example. It's free. They've got the largest one. You might be skipping, but there are ads at pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll. So there is free, there is freemium, there is hybrid. You pay for half an hour, then only one film you show, you go away. People are now connecting the growth phase only on the acquisition of customers, even if there is a high churn. But I think consolidation time has come. A consolidation not in terms of merging, but consolidation in terms of that we need to now be practical about profitability. And even if I've got less numbers, no problem. Quality is more important than quantity. But current trend is dominantly number. The very fact Netflix have tied up with Microsoft is basically to help them in their award model, but they can help also in their SVOD model, which is subscription based.
Right.
Then there is also hybrid modeling where people go for few hours, you see it and vanish, but in case you get hooked, you come back.
Right.
So I think today, at least there are 7-8 different models working, and each one. So who is making money, I do not know, but definitely content is the king here, apart from distribution. But content is the king, distribution is the queen, and of course monetization. But consumer culture has changed forever. The COVID time behavior is going to stay forever, to my mind. Consumer will not change. They'll look for escapism for maybe for holidays. They might be, but all cinema will be there. But I don't know whether cinema will still attract that many things because people don't want to see ads. Yeah. The problem is any business model that is over dependent on ad is screwed for. Sorry, is actually hustled forever. Sorry for my French.
Delete it from the recording, please. Yeah. So no, the point is, we have been used to watching television with advertising. That's how
because you don't want to pay.
We've just grown up that way, right? We are used to watching advertising, putting up with it.
You forget how we have grown up. It's irrelevant.
Right. So no. So point is, a large mass of consumers in India are still used to getting stuff for free, whether it is entertainment, whether it is news. So specific to entertainment, we don't mind the ads as long as we get it free, is the common perception of consumers.
It's not true. It's not true. You have to de-average customers. Whom you are talking about? Are you talking about you, me? You must understand there's something called cohort-based content creation. Different cohorts have different behaviors. Like MICA, I said, you are super rich. Otherwise, you can't pay 23 lakhs for this course. Don't talk about that I represent India. So there may be the rural, today do the OTT's growth in rural areas, the Marathi channels, the Marathi content, they are not necessarily movies. So we always think that consumer will not pay. If you create a right experience, I'm not telling exorbitant pay. So even after that, if I segment the market as super rich, rich, middle class, lower middle class, destitutes, you are talking about lower middle class. So if you look at it, television is free to air, DD dish. Television is also going premium. It's pretty expensive now. I'm talking about television,
Right.
Tata Sky. So Indians do not want to pay. This kind of generic statement is most irrelevant, because the fact that you tell me whom you are talking about. The money is in the niche. Money is not in the market. So you have to de-average. So everyone, so those who are paying for Netflix or Amazon, they will continue to pay. I don't want to see ads. If I see ads, I'll pay less. But I pay for it because I don't want to see ads.
There is a market. There is a significant
market,
market for
yes.
ad-free consumption.
Increasingly, you have to thin slice market by affordability.
Interesting. Before we throw throw it open to the audience for questions, I just want to ask, since you've moved into an NFT space, what does this new wave of creator economy mean for new creators? Established creators, people will buy, pay those super premiums and buy their NFTs. Maybe the adoption will be easier. Does it make a difference? The world of NFTs, does it make a difference for new creators?
Definitely. First, you have to understand what is NFT. How many of you know what is NFT? Don't tell me the acronym. I want to know what you know the subject. Just don't raise a non-fungible token.
Professor Das speaking.
No, but you want to understand now.
Please, why don't you, for our benefit, why don't you
No, I'm not an expert. I'm a toddler because I'm only 2 months old in the company, so I'm also learning. But I know it's non-fungible token. I know 100 rupees gives me 100 rupees worth of thing. But if I draw a painting, if I design a shoe and put it there, that is mine, one of a kind. It is not fungible. It is non-fungible. There are people, not necessarily Mona Lisa or Van Gogh. My things can also get sold. See, all depends on, because it is, they give tokens. I buy it from someone, suppose a land. Then I sell it to someone else because he sees more value. So that's how you make money. Now, there are crooks also there. There's no doubt, because cryptocurrency is getting bad name. But there are cryptocurrencies called Ethereum or something. It does extremely well because it's trustworthy. Fact remains, in 2001, even the then company bosses said, "Ho gaya na internet, khatam." Christianity was also criticized once upon a time. So the more people say metaverse, NFT is not going to work, I'm very happy. But blockchain is going to save us from the current fraud that is going on. Problem is, government are hassled, because DeFi, which is decentralized finance, DeFi can disintermediate government, central bank at least. I can't imagine Reserve Bank of India will say no. So I agree, for retail investors, you require a regulator. But blockchain's whole concept is immutable or inimmutable. Blockchain is about safety, security, and my own space. So my own art, my own piece, everything that is tangible asset can go into NFT. So it is the early days, too early to say which will work or not. But fact remains, it is an irreversible trend. If blockchain succeeds, metaverse will succeed. Same thing, NFT will succeed.
So creators, their product,
So everyone is a creator now. Right. If you look at it, forget about NFTs and metaverses. The very fact, from the time from passive consumption to active consumption started, how many podcasts, how many new creators have come. Then you see their example. I have not seen artists who are coming and acting. This is so far acting is concerned, but people are writing stories. I've never heard their name. Previously, standard GP and this and that. So I think creator economics, it opens, democratize the whole concept of content creation, content distribution, content consumption, and so on and so forth. NFT is the ultimate. N is equal to 1, which means one customer, one property, and it is mine own thing.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Bhaskar. I think we will throw the forum open to the audience for questions now. Are there questions? Anyone?
If you have no questions, I'll be happy. But anyway,
No, there are already a couple of hands which are up.
Lovely, very, very insightful, Dr. Bhaskar.
I can't see too much of light, Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So this is Dhruti. I want to ask you. There was a time when a lot of premium brands, and of course, I was associated at some time with Unilever. But I remember Hindustan Unilever, talking so much about creating a revolution with embedded marketing and in-film product placements. So now, what does that really mean for brands? Do you think that they could leverage or channelize the OTT platforms now going forward, given that you're saying people don't want to watch traditional advertisements? So what's the route then for brands?
The trend has already started, but problem is the CMOs are still 70s, 80s born. My due apologies. And they take pride in, I've got 20 years experience, don't teach me. Now, what is metaverse? You have got another distribution channel, another way of collecting data, another way of seeing interactive. When you're sleeping, people are interactive with the avatars. You are doing gamification. So you are immersed in the experience. Today, you are used to one to many, I have to do OTS, Bhaskar rating aega, upar niche, this, that. It gives result, I'm not denying it. But today, media scene is horizontal. Anyone thinking, working vertical is, that, is finished. One of the reasons that I left legacy medium is I want to learn new things because I'm into discovery mode and not curious mode. The FMCG companies, so they have to, so how do you balance the urgent and the emergent? Point is you focus on the urgent, but if you don't invest on the emergent, when it comes to you, you can't face tsunami with an umbrella. So you might as well start working and experimenting. So just for information, as I told you about L'Oreal, that they have these 64 looks. Titan, your Bangalore company, have launched, Tanishq, launched this new product in Metaverse. So companies are doing their own Metaverse company as opposed to the company I work. I told them, do you understand your competition? Companies will have their Metaverse division, which will create your brand as another distribution outlet, another database marketing, another engagement route. You have tremendous security, you have tremendous real-time consumer feedback. You will never get it. You can do focus group. You see, some of the CMOs also do focus group discussion, which is the biggest racket. So, because whatever you want to prove, do a focus group research. You can pay for content. You can do something. You think consumer is a bunch of morons. They are not. They are your wife, and you have to trust them. So the question is, how do you be at the cutting edge of technology? Because the post 2000 born is coming into the decision making stream. They will not be able to relate. So as I told you, I'm embarrassed for 42 years experience. It's the same thing. How we have grown up doesn't matter. Just 2 years have changed the world forever.
More questions, anyone? There at the back and at the front, right at the front. Can somebody help them with the mic? Oh,
Shout.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. I'm
Give
Jay
ladies
from
first chance, no?
No, it's okay.
All right, sir.
Please carry on.
Ashmita here. So, as someone who was born after the 2000s,
I'm feeling very young. Okay.
so recently the trend of reels and so do you think that Netflix is now competing with reels in a way? Because I personally have spent many hours just going through reels while I couldn't find anything to watch on Netflix. And also there have been recent studies about the declining attention span of our age basically. So a good example of it would be the recent movie on Netflix called Bee versus Man by it starred Robin Atkinson, the guy who played Mr. Bean, and it was one movie, but it was distributed in 10-minute segments of like 8 episodes of 10 minutes. So it was essentially an 80 minutes movie, like broken down into 8 episodes. So do you think this is how something that will change the upcoming media?
The YouTube research showed this 2.5 minutes is the attention span. So it's really is not something new. See, even you are post 2000 born, you are also being groomed by your family, by the society. Everything is this or that or that. Can you think and and and? So andness is more important. Really will also stay. It shows 2.5 minutes or TikTok, for instance. Look at the TikTok success. Facebook hasn't got it, that kind of thing. While that is true, depending on your mood and time of the day and whatever, but you have also seen long format stuff. So there is interest in long format. It might be episodic versions. You may not be doing binge viewing. There is also short format. Every format will exist. So that is the skill. Because fundamentally, attention span is small. How to get attention, get them attracted to your story, then how do you keep them engaged, which gamification helps. How do you do monetization? These basic principles are same. Nothing has changed. And so you feel nice to see reels or TikTok. So fine, 2.5 minutes your exams will not happen. 2.5 minutes your interview will not happen, you will not get job. So you have every format existing simultaneously. We are not used to simultaneous existence. Either I am Times of India, everything else is vanished. That was my time. How can I think of that? This is a different world. This is Times of India and. तो जिसको टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया पढ़ो पढ़ो, जिसको हिस्ट्री पढ़ना पढ़ो, जिसको रिपब्लिक देखना है देखो, जिसको मोदी को सपोर्ट करना है करो. It is democratized marketplace. N is equal to 1. Means N is customer. You can millionize an archetype, but you can't say that I see a whole universe of customer. Here I can tell you there are hundreds interest staying if I start research. Which one will you produce? But this 100 will get reflected in another 1 lakh. Each one.
Anyone else with questions?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Sir, I'm Debasish Das from Infinity Films. Sir, in the pandemic time, are you able to see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Sir, in the pandemic time, what happens? There is no scope for the audience to watch the movies in the theater. So all the audience migrate from the theater to the OTT platform. So what happens after the pandemic, post-pandemic, people are still in the OTT platform only, but there are few people have come from the OTT to theater. So how we will bring back those audience from OTT platform to the theaters?
See, this is something to do. There are two issues involved here. One is, of course, healthcare. I have also seen No Time to Die in movies. There are only 50 people there. It's not because people are not interested, they're scared. That is one part. Second part, I think people will come back to movies. Movies are here going to stay because popcorns have value. You can't see your OTT when your parents are there with your girlfriend or boyfriend. So I think movies have advantages. So that will happen. These are practical problems. But you will not stop seeing OTT. Why? The variety dish that you get. You are getting straight Radhe. You will get something, whatever, Ranveer Singh. Your Suryavanshi. But point is, you like to experiment with multiple things. If you look at Turkish, look at Korean episodes, why do you see it as if Indian movie hall mein kuch nahi hai? It is not about that. It is getting fragmented big time because your interest mood is also very different. See, and I'm not telling it's only movies, health, game. You are talking about Netflix. Netflix has an investment in a gaming company. I was wondering, I didn't know anyone in Netflix whom to ask because I always try to understand strategy. That where is episodes, where is gaming? Then I understand from my son that they play simultaneously from 15 different places on their connected TV. So it is quite possible I'll be a witness to that one day instead of a typical episode. It's also there. So it is it's not unidimensional anymore. If I tell you another say, we are talking about newspaper, Washington Post, Jeff Bezos' personal wealth investment, which made profit after 33 years. They introduced a subscription scheme, suppose it's $8 or $10, today's price for the next half century. Can you imagine? So everyone said he's such a fool. And he's not a fool, he's a very smart guy. He's investing in content. Next 50 years, tremendous response. People are paying for it. Definitely the guy who is paying, he's not going to read it because he's going to die. So his children will read it. He is ensuring youth readership. This is one, like New York Times also. 2014 it was getting sold. Now today it's a huge media behemoth. Just by shifting the focus that I'm in news business and not in newspaper business. India mein jo hota hai, everyone is in newspaper business. So when you are news business, you're in iPod news, you have got voice, you have audio, you have video, you have experiential, and then you're taking over companies. So the whole, I said the strategy, what they're following is a newsroom which is data literate. Generally, any editorial you talk about data, that's the marketing department. I'm not going to handle it. Data literacy is about algorithm. You see your large data, you recognize a pattern. Why Amazon is success. Then you do predictive analytics by applying machine learning. So you go to the next stage. So you can, 3 months in advance, you can say how you are going to go. You can allow your own Purana technique. You can't solve tomorrow's problems with future solutions. So what you are seeing in movie halls may not be a permanent feature once the fear goes, but I think because of environment and climate and other things, we are invading animal kingdoms. So there will be more and more diseases. The Malthusian theory, people die also. But fact is that every format will exist. Problem is people are obsessed with their business model. Businesses don't fail, business models fail. So if you go to a hall, it's much expensive than your OTT. If you take into account popcorn, samosa, this. Actually, what you eat is more than the movie ticket. So any movie ticket is 2,000 rupees per person. Imagine an OTT. Imagine IPL. That's it.
Thank you so much, Bhaskar. And can we please put our hands together for the speaker? And Usha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gokul. Thank you, Dr. Bhaskar Das. We owe him a bigger round of applause, I'm sure, than this. I'd like to invite Mr. Vijay Vishwanath, founder and CEO of MediaNewsForYou.com, to please hand over a souvenir and a gift to Dr. Bhaskar Das. Thank you so much, sir.